Hello everybody and welcome back to the best reactions. Okay, Japanese Grand Prix edition. I hope you all managed to stay awake throughout. We were live, myself and Tommy. I think genuinely if we hadn't been live and I'd been sat on my sofa, it could have been slightly problematic trying to stay awake. And I know that there are some memes that you have made that include this. So let's get into the top 10. In P10, we have at Polski Polak 2. What an eventful race. Now, I'll give you a couple of seconds to realise what the track is when he puts his glasses on. Yes, it is, of course, Monaco. It genuinely, it did feel like that, didn't it? Japan was the new Monaco, but slightly further away walls than usual. Just so difficult to watch our beloved sport become more and more attuned to qualifying than the race. It used to always say, F1 qualifying, it's just a Saturday. Everything happens on a Sunday. Didn't feel that way, did it, from this weekend? P9 at F1_int1. Give me a microscope, please. This one, I struggle with my colours. So, you know, I don't know if you've ever done these sort of colour tests where they have these circles and it's like different shades of colour, and they write a number in there in those shades of colours. It basically tests your eyes as to whether you have some level of colour blindness. I have some level of red-green colour blindness. That is a struggle for me massively. Not sure what they're doing with that one. Change the colours, guys. I mean, literally one of the cars is white, so why don't we mix it up? Because blue and then bluey purple, not going to cut it. In P8, we have Charles PTH_, McLaren strategist after calling the dummy. This one did make me laugh. I know the Mick Schumacher, this meme is very widely used, but in the context of the McLaren strategy team, they were like, we're going to roll the dummy out, okay? Oh, they didn't fall for it. I'm off home. Thank you very much. It did feel that way. Like, come on, guys. I'm still frustrated by the McLaren strategy team. I know they just love being conservative. They just want to score as many points as possible for the Constructors' Championship. But the drivers is also important as well. Okay, we're into our first sort of segment away from the top 10, and usually it's either something funny, controversial, or something I just want to talk about, and I need to pop off. Okay? It is these silly graphics that keep popping up about points scorers' records. So I saw that Charles Leclerc is now the top point scorer for Ferrari. Are we actually going to say that with our chest? As a devout Michael Schumacher fanboy growing up, I'm sorry, but you can't just be saying things like that. It just doesn't make sense in my head, okay? Because if you're new to Formula One, we had a different point system back in the day. 10 points was for a victory. We now have 25. We threw in fastest lap points as well for banter until recently, until this year. Can we please stop saying that drivers are becoming the overall point scorer record holder when we're not converting? I also saw that Antonelli needs 77 more points to outscore Hamilton's rookie 2007 season. Please, can we chill out? I know Antonelli's doing a great job. I know Charles Leclerc's also done a fantastic job at Ferrari for what he's had underneath him. But can we put some respect on the old school records that exist for a reason, and they need to stay there until they are legitimately beaten when you then put in the whole conversion from old to new. Thank you for coming to my Matt Talk. P7 at Erica is golden. How the race felt after waking up at the crack of dawn. F me, this is boring. Should have brought my pillow. I think a lot of you probably had your pillows, especially if you were in Europe. It was an early start. But yeah, what a struggle town the Japanese Grand Prix was. P6 at F1 Finnick. Play sad music. Yuki during practice session. We were so excited, weren't we? Well, maybe we were a little bit too excited after Friday, I'll be honest with you, I will say. You know, we were like, oh, Yuki's looking really good. However, we have said it in the podcast, and I'll say it again. There's potential there. Yuki, when he gets to literally Bahrain, there'll be no excuses in the sense of it's a track that you can overtake. I want to see an aggressive Yuki Tsunoda. I want to see a better Q3 performance from Yuki Tsunoda. He's got it in the locker, in my opinion. P12 is not a disaster. Qualifying was slightly more of a disaster down in P15. And, of course, the storylines was Lawson ahead of Tsunoda. Now what do they do? Yuki will be fine in Bahrain, in my opinion. Okay, we're into our honourable mentions segment now because you wanted more memes, so you're getting more memes. Okay, let's begin with @ChrisGamingNL. Top 3 reacting to the highlights. Oscar Piastri. He is an absolute gem. I love just how deadpan, dry his humour is. Sometimes it might not even be humour, but it's taken as humour. Oscar Piastri is like a Kimi Räikkönen, but he actually wants to be there, which is nice to see. @the Michael Gray, Max Verstappen is unreal. I am inevitable. He is indeed an absolutely perfect weekend. I don't think you could say any more. Max did the absolute utmost to win and gets pole position in a car that is not the fastest. I will not have people just saying that Max is now in the fastest or even second fastest car. I'm not convinced. He's just doing ridiculous things and deserves respect. @EliteMerc_APN. Bit of a snooze fest this. Another great meme, Scooby-Doo meme. I like it a lot. Of course, Monaco. Will Monaco be a banger though? Will Monaco be more exciting than the likes of Japan? Because we got that little two-stop thing now being thrown around, don't we? Or yeah, it's going to be hopefully more interesting. @IGN Roberto felt like it's going to be like this for the rest of the season. It was Hambot Ver. It's now, well, from Japan, Ver Pia. But in Bahrain, I think it's going to be Nor Pia Ver. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well as Hambot Ver, does it? @Kovar_Stepan Lance Stroll at the Japanese Grand Prix. That is a wild picture. I'm assuming AI has been used here. I say assuming. That is absolutely AI and not a real picture. Just ridiculous, the things that people are coming up with on the internet now. But Lance Stroll was very much cruising, chilling, P20. I'm sure he wasn't drink. That must be a non-alcoholic cocktail. I will just say that for sure. But just a Lance Stroll performance this weekend. But he is still the top point scorer at Aston Martin. So, Tommy, I know you're probably watching this. Lance Stroll's the number 1 driver at the moment, mate. That was a joke. @PrattyPrat_44. Racer boring, me to the grass. Come on, do something. How have we come so far as Formula 1 fans that we are relying on a spark from a Formula 1 car to set alight a small patch of grass at the Japanese Grand Prix Suzuka circuit in order for us to have any kind of action? And genuinely, I do not think we would have, really, even if we had a red flag. Maybe we would have some interesting action down towards turn 1. Safety car, I just think we were screwed no matter what. The low tyre deg just meant there was no tyre discrepancy really between drivers, unless you're doing an Antonelli strategy, and it just meant for a stinker. @Hannah F1 under 27, Alex Albon on the radio today. I like sassy Alex Albon. I do. I genuinely do. I think that we need more of it. And I loved how after the race, he knew how boring of a race that we've had because of the amount of his team radio was played. I want more of it, though. Another meme for honourable mentions @F1 in 1. Lando after staring at Max's rear end for the entire race. Must have been really frustrating as Formula 1 drivers to try and just fail around a track that is so iconic, so legendary. We've had championship battles decided. We've had really controversial moments into the last chicane, into turn 1 over the years. And there was just no sniff of an opportunity. Even though Piastri was like half a second, maybe 6/10 behind Lando out of that final couple of corners, still couldn't get close. We need to shrink these cars by 40% and we might get some racing. Please. Right, it's Tommy's time to be part of the Best Reaction series, which means it's controversial opinion time. We've gathered lots of opinions from you, and the one we have chosen is from Isco Matea. Suzuka was the confirmation of the end of Lando's dream to be a world champion. My God. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty flying around as to, well, who's going to be the Drivers' World Champion. But, Mike, can we calm down just for a second? Hey, Tommy. He's still leading the championship, is Lando Norris right now. He has scored a first and 2 seconds, and people are trying to discount him for the World Championship. I'm not sure where that's lying. Is that because he's in a team that people don't believe can win a Drivers' World Championship? I don't know. But to write Lando off in the fastest car when he has delivered to a decent level so far this year, I think is highly unfair.
Yeah, it's definitely unfair. He's finished first, second, like you say, which is World Championship winning form. I do think that there are maybe a few little worrying signs that we've seen so far this season. Only minor, of course. But, him going off a couple of times, the sprint in China wasn't great. But to write him off completely from the World Championship is absolutely insane at this stage. I just think that the kind of hate and stuff that he gets seems so unnecessary and so forced, because it's just not, he's not doing like Max's level, if you like, but it's not doing a bad job at all.
Exactly. So we wanted to crush this one, and we're on the same side for this controversial opinion, aren't we, Tommy? I think there is a completely different discussion to talk about whether McLaren are ready to win a Drivers' World Championship, and we've spoken a little bit about their strategy and conservative approach to races. But Lando, is still very much in the hunt, and I still think McLaren are going to be the fastest car throughout the year. So we're going to crush that one straight away, aren't we?
He can still do it for sure.
Thanks, Tommy.
Bye.
Okay, I'm just going to pause this video very quickly to just ask for you to subscribe. If you haven't, just please subscribe. Just click that subscribe button, and it's free. It helps us a lot. Like, we've seen a lot of you come into the P1 family, but just join. Just come join. It's the least we can ask for. If you are liking this, leave a like, subscribe. And that is my only request. I tell a lie. There's one other request, and that is I'm running the London Marathon, and I am trying to raise as much money as possible for the Great Ormond Street Hospital charity that do amazing things for young kids that are suffering with rare illnesses, and childhood should not be stuck in a hospital, and they do such amazing work to give them some kind of quality of life, and that's who I'm running the London Marathon for. I've never run really properly in my life until the last few months, where I've been training for this to try and do as good a job as possible. The link will be at the top of the description. If you can donate anything, it would mean the world for both myself and also the charity. Thank you. P5 at Ball R004. Oscar 10 laps to the end of a 2 hours news race. I love dog memes. I love dogs in general. How can you not love dogs? I think I'm lost in that. Let me go off the max. No. Well, they didn't actually say no. I don't recall them saying no, but I can imagine that's very similar to what Oscar would have been feeling in the cockpit, and how we felt as Formula One fans, because we wanted to see overtakes. Now we're into our next segment away from the top 10, and this one, I feel, it did make me chuckle. And just to give you some context, of course, Doohan had that massive crash in free practice 2. We're so glad that he got away with that one unscathed. It was an enormous crash, like, my goodness gracious me. There was a paddock rumour that then came out after that he had tried DRS Open on the simulator, and it worked. So he brought that theory to the racetrack. And then there was this meme from @KevNS. I really hope he doesn't do that at Canada. Just the way it flipped. I mean, that is the most beautiful. Is it like a sideways flip? What would you actually call that? Either way, gorgeous. But I think that might be track limits as well. At El Marmos, Lando wanting to prevent more fires. Oh, the amount of lawnmower memes that came out of this were brilliant. And this was my favourite one. At Joe Formula 6P, F1 TV during the pit stops. This one, oh my goodness gracious me. This annoyed me. And it annoyed a lot of you, didn't it? Because there was one moment of interest. And they showed Charles Leclerc pitting. This is brilliant, but I like this. I mean, in any other world, you would think that's a meme I made, because Charles Leclerc pitted. Like, let's see Charles Leclerc. Absolutely. But we were all up in arms, and we had to settle for a replay to see really what had gone on. The runner-up spot goes to at F1 Fast Chats. Max in front, be like. I absolutely adore this picture of Max in a tractor leading. It is just so good. Unfortunately, I thought there was a better meme out there. But you get the runner-up spot. Well done. Before we get into P1, I wanted to share another thing, which was actually from Formula One themselves, and I found it such a wholesome part of the weekend. Japan is just such an amazing place. The amount of commitment and just love for Formula One that they show with the creativity of the things that they make was just absolutely awesome. And these kids in actual Formula One race suits and helmets was just so awesome to see. And just the creative concepts generally of fans around, Japan is absolutely number one for fans showing their love for the sport in such an amazingly creative way. And finally, the winner of the best reactions for the Japanese Grand Prix, and of course it has to be something to do with a sleep meme, was this. At Obnoxious2, the Japanese GP in a nutshell. That is quite literally what I reckon 95% of Formula One fans were. Just chilling, and then back to sleep again. It was very quick. It was over in a few seconds. This tweet had 45,000 likes, so how can I not give the win to Obnoxious? It's just, a brilliant meme. Well done. You win some P1 merch, and if you want to win P1 merch in future episodes, hashtag P1 to get involved in this series. Okay, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the best reactions to the Japanese Grand Prix. And I do genuinely mean thank you for tuning in, because I'm sure you don't want to watch any real content after that race and just forget about it. But we're into race week again. Bahrain, please deliver. It's a wider track. Surely there's going to be overtakes. I can't believe we're into this now after such a banging season last year with loads of stuff. But it's fine. We will recover. It's very close in the championship. It's going to be fun. As I said, hashtag P1 if you want to get involved in the series next time. Please subscribe as well if you're new. I see a lot of you coming in and enjoying this content. So come and join the P1 fam. Press subscribe. And we will see you very soon for another piece of content. Lots of love. Bye.